Hi guys and welcome to Battlefield 5. Today I will share 10 or more advanced tips and tricks for this game, and it all starts with shooting. Playing as a sniper is easy if you know how to lead your targets. That's the first thing that we will cover. When a guy is running from your left to your right, then you know that you have to lead him and preferably have to shoot him in the head because he's behind cover. You won't have a second chance. What you have to do is you have to try to predict where this guy is going to be by the time that your bullet reaches him. This is not that difficult. I mean, it just takes a little bit of time and practice. So imagine this guy here. He's running from left to right. And as you can see, he's going to be behind cover. So the only option that you have is to shoot him in the head. You do this by lining up your crosshairs at this eye level. Now, don't aim at his head itself, just aim a little bit in front for now. Don't worry about the bullet drop. There isn't much in Battlefield 5, and especially not at this range. Now, the only way for me to show you this is by stopping this video. Now, this is the exact moment that I pressed my left mouse button, and then the bullet ended up hitting this guy in the head. So, for this range, for a guy who's running from left to right, you'll have to lead him by approximately twice the size of his head. If you keep this number or this image in your head, then you know approximately with how much you have to lead your targets, and eventually it will become a natural skill. Now, if we take this a little bit further, for example, a fast moving vehicle who is driving away from you, and you want to give the guy a headshot who is riding on top. This seems like a difficult kill, right? But actually it isn't. It's easier than the previous kill. Now, this guy is driving away from you, okay. He's driving fast, okay. But the amount that you have to lead this target is much less than the amount that you had to lead the previous guy who was running from left to right. Let's freeze the video again. What you see now is the exact moment when I pressed my left mouse button. And as you can see, the amount that you have to lead this person is much less than the previous kill. Instead of leading this person twice the size of his head, you're now only leading him once the size of his head. So imagine that he has a second head on his right shoulder, that's where you're aiming. So if you speak in the amount that you have to lead this target, then this is a much easier kill than the previous kill. So try to shoot your enemy where he is going to be. Don't shoot him at where he is right now. I think somebody said it in a movie, and I think it was something from a famous person, but I just can't remember which movie or which famous person, but I've heard it before. So try to keep that in mind and apply it to Battlefield 5, and you will make a lot more kills when you're sniping. I'm sure that you've heard or noticed that the STG is one of the better guns in the game. This gun is brutal, amazing, it just kills everything and everyone. Now, for longer range kills, it is important that you learn how to tap fire. Going full auto all the time at this range is not going to make things easier for you. If you tap fire, then you will be able to make more kills per magazine, meaning that you waste less bullets going full auto, missing your target. By tap firing, you will keep your bullets on target right in between the guy's eyes. The second tip for the STG is about the recoil. Basically, learn how to deal with it. Go to a wall and just shoot at it. See what the recoil pattern does and see how it behaves. Now, for the STG, it will go up and to the right. So next time you shoot at your enemy, just pull your mouse down and slide it to the left. And even if you decide to go full auto, you will keep all of your bullets on target. Sometimes you will face an enemy who is hiding behind a pillar. Now, you can't shoot at him directly, so you'll have to flank him. Now you have the option, go left or go right. But you can force the enemy to go a certain way. Imagine this. There is a guy standing behind the pillar and you're straight in front of him. Now, if you go left, he might go right. If you go right, he might go left. Think outside of the box. You have grenades, right? So throw a grenade to your right side, which means that it's on the left side of your enemy. Now, he's not gonna show up or peek from the left side anymore, right? Because he sees his grenade indicator and he's gonna go to the right. Which means that if you go to the left, you keep your crosshairs straight to the left of this little pillar and you will be able to shoot at your target as soon as he appears. Meaning that you will win this gunfight. Winning a game in Battlefield 5 depends on your own personal individual performance, the performance of your squad and the performance of your team, and also about the performance of the other team. Sometimes the difference between winning and losing depends on the fact that you decide not to respawn in. Imagine this, you just died with about 10 tickets remaining and the other team also has 10 tickets remaining. Now it's gonna take about 4 to 5 tickets before the timer runs out so you can actually respawn in again. Now the score is about 5 to 5 tickets and the flags are about the same, so that's not gonna make a big difference. When you spawn in, the game will subtract 1 ticket from the scoreboard. Meaning, if you spawn in, you don't have 5 tickets anymore, now you just have 4. This is also valid for the other team. If you believe that you are going to kill 4 or 5 guys within the few seconds after spawning in, then hey, sure, go ahead, spawn in, do what you have to do and win the game for your team. However, This is unlikely to do this within the first few seconds of spawning, right? I'm sure you can do this any given other time, but not really instantly after spawning. So instead, don't respawn. Let the other team respawn in as much as they like, drain their own tickets and make sure that they lose the game by themselves. Take this game for example. We won it with one single ticket.
Yes.
Now, if I would have spawned in, I would have drained the ticket. Meaning that this would have been a draw or a loss if more people on our side decided to spawn in. So yeah, I think we made the right decision in order to win this game. This also means that if you win a game with one single ticket difference, that everything that you did during the entire round made a difference. It made a big impact. If you killed one guy less, then your team would not have won this game. If you captured the flag less, you would not have won this game. So whatever you did, it contributed. You were one of the guys who made sure that your squad or your team won. On the bottom left hand side, you can see the amount of squad points that your squad has accomplished. In this case, about 76,000. Now, in normal games, you get just above 40,000 if your team performed relatively well, so you have access to the V1 rocket. Now, if you guys work together with your squad, reviving each other, healing each other, giving each other ammo, and making sure that you guys capture points together, then you will get a monster score for your squad. This also means that your squad leader now can call in 2 V1 rockets, which is a big advantage over everybody else in the game, right? I'm all about teamwork and team play and playing together and making sure that we dominate the battlefield with our squad. Now sometimes when you get close to the top position, you might want to think about yourself for a few moments. That's why this V1 rocket can come in handy. In this case I was number 2, right behind number 1 with about 80 points less than him. Then I called in my second V1 rocket, and look what happened next. I got a few kills, this instantly catapulted me to the MVP position, and then we won the game. Game over, the other guy never had a chance. So yes, playing as a team, working together with your buddies has advantages towards winning the entire game, but also for yourself, getting yourself on top of the scoreboard. It's always nice to see, right? Using this V1 rocket is pretty easy. You point and click and the rocket will show up after a few seconds. Using this effectively is something else. You will have to use the same principle as when you're sniping. You have to lead your enemy, you have to lead your target. So don't shoot at where the enemy is, shoot at where he's going to be. If you captured Delta and the other team just captured Bravo, then you know that these guys are going to show up at Delta, right? So fire your rocket at Delta. These guys are going to come here within 20 to 30 seconds and your rocket will also be here within 20 to 30 seconds. Everything in Battlefield has a travel time from your bullet going out of your weapon towards the V1 rocket. But this also is valid for a tank shell, and you can outrun a tank shell. So there's a tank standing here on the other side of the map. At some point this guy sees me. He then decides to fire his main cannon right at me, not knowing that this bullet has a big travel time. I see the flash, go to the left, and I outrun this tank shell by a mile. So you can do this as well. If you see a tank in the distance, you see the flash, do a sidestep to the left and you will live to fight another day. If you don't like these tanks, then you can avoid running into them altogether. On Rotterdam, you can easily destroy these bridges, these smaller bridges between Charlie and the rest of the map. All it takes is 1 Panzerfaust shell or 2 dynamite sticks. This will prevent any tank from coming close to Charlie. This means that they won't be able to get here anymore. There's only one way for a tank to come towards Charlie after you destroyed these bridges. That is, if a support player then decides to repair this bridge. The other classes can't do this. I didn't figure this out by myself, it was thanks to a few subscribers who mentioned this in the comments on a previous video. So all credit goes to them. Now when you destroy these bridges, try to do it when there's a tank, a vehicle or an enemy player on top of it. The tank will be destroyed and an enemy player will fall into the water not knowing what happened, and this makes sure that you can make a pretty easy kill. In Battlefield 5 you can build fortifications. Some guys like to do this and some guys can't be bothered. They prefer to go somewhere else and kill a few more people over there. Fair enough. The only 2 things that I want you to build is number 1, an ammo or supply station. These things can be destroyed and you can easily rebuild them no matter what class you are. This is gonna give you and your buddies extra ammo and extra meds. The other thing that I want you to build is barbed wire. This thing can act as entry denial. If you build this in front of a bunch of sandbags, then the enemy cannot enter the flag from this side anymore unless they destroy the barbed wire or these sandbags. I wouldn't recommend you to stay at the captured flag just to build a barbed wire all over the place. It will be a waste of time. But imagine that you go to an enemy flag. You kill everybody there and you're capturing it. Now you have to stand here for a certain amount of time until the flag is captured. There are no enemies anymore, so there's nobody to kill. So your job is done already. Instead of just standing here and waiting like everybody else, do something. build the barbed wire within the capture zone. This way you will make sure that 1. You capture this point, 2. When the enemy comes here, he's gonna have a pretty hard time getting in here, and 3. It's gonna give you more points, which means that you have a bigger chance of getting the MVP. If you're playing on Rotterdam and you want to make an interesting kill from a very nice angle, then try out the train. You can get on top of it. If you go here, you climb on this ledge, then you turn around, climb on the train itself, and that is how you get on top. You can pass these obstacles by climbing or crouching, and you can then run over the entire train. The enemy is not gonna see this coming. These were about 10, actually a few more, tips and tricks for Battlefield 5. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.